Every time Donald Trump has tried to distract us from his Jeffrey Epstein scandal, he has only made it worse for himself. And his latest attempt to deflect and attack this scandal is blowing up in his face worse than we have ever seen. Because Trump this morning took to Truth Social and lost his mind in a meltdown that was somehow worse than the one that we saw this weekend, because it is bringing up information about him and Epstein's relationship that he desperately wants to hide. We are going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we can get into that post, I want to start with the important context from Lawrence O'Donnell about Donald Trump's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein many decades ago that is so pertinent to what he just said.
Donald Trump said again today that he just doesn't understand why anyone, especially his supporters, would still be interested in Jeffrey Epstein. It could be because Donald Trump said this years before he became a politician. I've known Jeff for 15 years, terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. Donald Trump said that to New York Magazine in an interview for a profile of Jeffrey Epstein in New York Magazine. And in those days, Donald Trump was proud to say, I've known Jeff for 15 years, terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do. There they are, doing their thing together. And as Donald Trump said about Jeffrey Epstein's beautiful women, quote, many of them are on the younger side. Donald Trump saw many of them at those parties that they were at together. Donald Trump saw how young they were. And Donald Trump was still proud to say, I've known Jeff for 15 years, terrific guy. Donald Trump doesn't want us talking about any of this. And a good rule of thumb for the news media in covering Donald Trump has always been to talk about whatever Donald Trump is hoping we don't talk about. It's not easy to choose what stories to present on a daily basis in the coverage of Donald Trump. It has never been easy. We all make those choices every day here and at other news organizations, and we all might make different choices on a given day. But the best choice is usually the one that infuriates Donald Trump the most.
They were best friends. Trump admitted it. Epstein admitted it. Ghislaine Maxwell admitted it of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. How much more evidence do we need besides the photos of them together, the stories they both have told, the videos, the eyewitness accounts? What else do we need? Not a lot more. And that is why Donald Trump is so panicked, because if those are already damaging, if the public photos and videos and accounts are damaging, what does the private information look like? That is why he is so panicked, because he knows how bad it is. But it's not just Democrats. Of course, this is a bipartisan scandal for Trump, and the latest domino to fall was Joe Rogan, which I think triggered this horrible morning meltdown.
Videotape, and all of a sudden they don't. You know, you have the director of the FBI on this show saying there's no if there was, nothing you're looking for is on those tapes. Like, what? Why did they say there was thousands of hours of tapes of people doing horrible shit? Why did they say that?
Right.
Didn't Pam Bondi say that?
What, are you talking about Epstein or Diddy?
Yeah, Epstein.
Yeah, she said it literally, I think, a week before you had the FBI director sitting here telling you there was nothing, right?
She said something about that there was like thousands of hours of tapes of people doing horrible crimes.
There is. And didn't the FBI dude say that there was nothing?
Cash Patel said there's nothing you're looking for. Oh, okay. Okay. I mean, what am I going to do? I'm going to push back.
Right. No, of course. I understand.
Obviously, he's saying what he has to say.
Right.
Even Joe Rogan is furious with Donald Trump, calling him out for his complete lack of transparency, the betrayal, the broken promises. MAGA has been strung along, and they are finally realizing that everything Donald Trump has said to them is BS. Yet Trump wants to pretend like this is the Democrats and Obama and Biden, and that is exactly what we saw in this newest meltdown of a post. It was just insane. insane. Trump wrote on Truth Social, the radical left Democrats have hit pay dirt again. Just like with the fake and fully discredited Steele dossier, the lying 51 intelligence agents, the laptop from hell, which the Dems swore had come from Russia. No, it came from Hunter Biden's bathroom. And even the Russia scam itself, a total fake and made up story used in order to hide crooked Hillary Clinton's big loss in the 2016 presidential election. These scams and hoaxes are all the Democrats are good at. It's all they have. They are no good at governing, no good at policy, and no good at picking winning candidates. Also, unlike Republicans, they stick together like glue. Their new scam is what we will forever call the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. And my past supporters have bought into this bullshit. Hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson and probably never will, even after being conned by the lunatic left for 8 long years. I have had more success in 6 months than perhaps any president in our country's history. And all these people want to talk about with strong prodding by fake news and the success-starved Dems is the Jeffrey Epstein hoax. Let these weaklings continue forward and do the work of the Democrats. Don't even think about talking of our incredible and unprecedented success because I don't want their support anymore. Thank you again for your attention in this matter. Make America great again. Donald Trump is abandoning his own supporters. He is telling them, I do not want you to be a part of my movement anymore if you care about this. And do you know what they're telling to Donald Trump? Neither do we. The Civil War is now Donald Trump launching an attack on MAGA. It is no longer just MAGA furious with Donald Trump. And I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist, but every news statement he makes, every outrageous claim, every time he attacks now his own base, I'm starting to think that what is in those documents is more than any of us ever could have expected, which is why it is so important that we continue to call for them to be released, call for them to be made public. I think Republican members of Congress are starting to break on this issue. And would that be just such a blow to Donald Trump, who was clearly panicked? And Chris Hayes broke that all down right here.
Good evening from New York. I'm Chris Hayes. Donald Trump is desperate to get everyone to stop talking about Jeffrey Epstein and that so-called client list, even as he spent basically the entire day fielding questions about it, including if his own Attorney General, Pam Bondi, who was reviewing all these materials, told him his name appeared on the list.
What did she tell you about the review? And specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the
Oh, no, she's given us just a very quick briefing. And in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen, and I would say that, these files were made up by Comey. They were made up by Obama. They were made up by the Biden
Why do you think your supporters in particular have been so interested in the Epstein story and so upset about how it's been handled? Why do you think that is?
I don't understand it. Why they would be so interested. He's dead for a long time. He was never a big factor in terms of life. I don't understand what the interest or what the fascination is. I really don't. And the credible information's been given, but I don't understand why the Jeffrey Epstein case would be of interest to anybody. It's pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring. And I don't understand why it keeps going. I think really only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like that going.
This whole thing blew up last week when Bondi, who has been pretty outspoken about hyping the existence of Epstein tapes and a client list and bombshell revelations, after going on TV to talk about all that was coming, then turned around and said, it turns out nothing to see here. Some of Trump's most diehard supporters went somewhat predictably nuts, which led to the president sharing this rambling 400-word post, infamously beginning with, "What's going on with my boys," and in some cases, gals. He said MAGA should stop talking about Jeffrey Epstein, who never dies. That the Epstein files were written by the Dems to hurt Trump, including Obama got in there somehow. But they did not release them, which is a little tough to figure out how it was going to hurt Trump if they didn't release them. Then Trump asked about the JFK and Martin Luther King Jr. assassinations, as well as his big lie of a stolen 2020 election, which is, of course, nonsense, and then reiterates that no one cares about Jeffrey Epstein. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He was never a big factor in terms of life. You can imagine there was a full revolt in response to that post on Trump's own social media network. Some choice comments, each receiving thousands of likes, including, quote, "You promised us, sir. Putting your MAGA base down is not going to make this go away." Quote, "This statement breaks my heart, Mr. President." And quote, "This is going to cost you so many supporters, I being one of them. It appears you or a loved one was in on it and you want this to go away." It does not appear to be going away. Over the weekend, speakers at the conservative Turning Point USA conference practically had their torches and pitchforks out, demanding the Trump administration release the Epstein files.
I will not rest until we go full Jan 6 committee on the Jeffrey Epstein files.
Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of intel services, probably not American.
Who would you guys prefer, Bongino or Bonnie? Okay, 7,000 to 0.
They want Dan.
Release all the Epstein files, no matter the consequences.
How many of you are not satisfied with the results of the investigation?
I mean, even SNL comedian Rob Schneider is calling for the release of the Epstein files. But now, many of those same people are, you'll never guess, sheepishly falling right in line behind Donald Trump, who is demanding that they just stop talking about this whole boring Epstein thing that has nothing to do with it. According to one report, get this, Trump personally called Charlie Kirk, who co-founded and organized the entire conference, and then Kirk and others, I certainly softened their tone.
Plenty was said this last weekend at our event about Epstein. Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands.
I'm going to talk about the Epstein files, and I'm going to make the case that even though there are unanswered questions about Epstein, it is in fact time to move on.
Now, as conservative influencers were eating their own about Epstein, the president was stealing the show on the one-year anniversary of the day he almost lost his life. He made a triumphant appearance at a global sporting event.
I mean, what does the world come to when you cannot rely on the integrity of Charlie Kirk and Dinesh D'Souza? In fact, Fox, where Laura Ingraham was talking about that triumphant moment we're going to cover later, Fox is barely covering Epstein at all anymore. And when they do, it's to repeat Trump's spin.
This man is terrified like we have never seen him before. His MAGA base is turning on him. His MAGA mouthpieces in the media are turning on him. And now he's turning on all of them. The MAGA civil war is no longer one-sided. Donald Trump is engaging with it again now. And oh boy, I can't wait to take this all in. And if you want to as well, we're going to be doing it on this show. And to support that and check in on that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.